Good evening, or good afternoon, I'm not even sure what to call this. The sun is up, as you can see behind me. Current time is 21:36 and it's broad daylight. You gotta love summer in Denmark. It has been 6 months since I moved to this country with my wife, and I thought it would be a great time to record a update of what it's like to live here in this Nordic country. For the most part, it has been a great experience. Our life is so much less stressful than it was before. We have been enjoying our stay in Denmark so far. It's a very peaceful, very relaxed country where you don't really need to be worried about most things in life. The Danes are doing a really great job at making sure that the basics of their lives are covered, be it for their medical things, for pension or whatnot. People say that the Danes are reserved and difficult to make contact with. I say that that's not entirely true. Danes are very polite when you meet them, but it's also true that in their lives, family and their very close friends are the top priority. So they don't really have time to make new friends as often as some other people in other cultures. It is probably difficult to make friends with Danes. So far we've had more success meeting other expats, but honestly we haven't really tried making that much connection with Danes, honestly. Working in Denmark is great. The Danes have a very good work-life balance. In Denmark you only work 37 hours officially. Of course you can work more than that, and if people take their job seriously, sometimes they put in a little overtime, but that's not requested and not expected from any worker. It's also very interesting how balanced the wages are. If you're working as a factory worker, for example, you're already making a pretty good income. If you're like a top level employee who is highly paid in other cultures, in Denmark you're not making that much more money, so it's more compressed. There's not so big differences between what people make, and that's a great thing for the most part. Danes don't allow the stress of work to get into their everyday life. They even have a word what they say when work becomes too stressful, and they just and then they just leave it, right? It doesn't make sense to lose your health over work, and they don't allow that. Weather is a very important thing in Denmark. Also, the sunlight is the center of attention at all times. You can be sure that the Danish winter just sucks, and that also has been our experience. We moved during December and January, and it has been depressing, truly. There's very little sunlight, and the weather is harsh. But the summer, on the other hand, is amazing. I'm here at 9:30 p.m. and I'm recording this video with ambient lighting. The temperatures are quite warm. It's about 25, 21 currently, but top temperature is around 25. It's June, but it's still warm enough so you can go to the beach. But it's not too hot, like you're not sweating all day. It's not difficult to live. I'm really enjoying the summer weather here. Cost of living. How much does it cost to live in Denmark? Well, life in general in Denmark is expensive but affordable. Things often cost a lot of money, but people are making good wages, so it's affordable. It doesn't cost your life to pay for rent and groceries. So for a couple, I would say that the minimum that you should account for is about 20,000 DKK for two people. That covers groceries, rent, and fuel, and a few coffees every here and then. For the most part, groceries are exactly the same as we've had in Hungary. There used to be some difference, but it has almost disappeared 100%. There's no difference in the stores what you pay for bread and whatnot. Rent is probably the biggest expense in every family, and rent here in Aarhus, which is the second biggest city, ranges, in our opinion, anywhere between 6 to 10,000 DKK, Danish krona. That's for like a two room or 3 room small apartment. The same thing in Copenhagen, which costs you upwards of 10,000, maybe 10 to 15,000. So it can be expensive, as well as the deposit that you need to pay. In Copenhagen, it can be 6 months of rent. So that's a huge amount of money, and and that has been one of the reasons that why we actually moved to Aarhus and not Copenhagen. It's the lower rent. Services are very expensive, and that's true for the hairdresser, for beauty, for car repairs, any kind of expense where you're expecting a person to make services for you. I'm paying 250 krona for a haircut, and that's just what it is. Cars are also especially expensive. So for this Fiat Punto I paid 18,000 krona, and that's very cheap. I had to spend another 16,000 to fix it up to the level where it's up and running, and there's no known problems on it. And that's because in Denmark they have a really high tax on cars. In some cases it can be 180%, so you're paying almost a triple price for the car, and that of course cascades down to the used car market. Also, I had a very bad experience with car repair shops. In my experience, they did a bad job and it was expensive. So that has been our experience for the first 6 months. Of course, it's very difficult to see anything concrete after such a small amount of time, but so for the most part, we're liking it here. And for the next 6 months, I'm actually looking forward to the more boring part of life, when I'm not setting up some part of my life all the time. Like you wouldn't think about how many things in life need to be set up, and it keeps you really busy. But we have settled in now, so we can go back to the original scope of this channel, which will be aviation and paragliding. I hope soon I can have some more exciting videos for you, but I really wanted to make this life update because yeah, we have been through a lot of change, and that's been great. So thank you for joining. My name is Gustav. Nice to see you again, and I will see you in the next video.